Then the mortar VTSI. This is sort of counterpart for the BTR-70 Zalo of the Warsaw Pact. It's 20, so it's keep. It's got a main gun that does a good you know, it might not look that impressive, but it can definitely do some damage. Its ammunition is not good and it's fast. One thing to note, it doesn't have a stabilizer, so don't think it can just drive around shooting stuff. Stop it if you want to kill stuff. But yeah, for 20, this is quite a good this is basically a gun mounted on something quite fast for 20, so it's, you know, it's quite a good vehicle, but just remember, it's a prototype. You won't be able to field a lot of them. So then we got the Raken 10 Jag de Panzer 1. Lovely. At 15, you've got it's not bad actually. It's quite slow, but it's got this SS11 80GM that does a good amount of damage and it's got 10 missiles, so it isn't too bad. It looks a bit weird, but it's got the MG3 as well. Upgrade it, and we get more missiles and a speed boost for an extra 5. That's quite a good deal. I'd probably go for that. Extra 25. We've got a really good 80GM, the Hot 1. Good accuracy, better power. Doesn't carry as many missiles though. It's also quite a lot more expensive. And then for an extra 15, the Ito pops up again. With that family, I'd probably go for this one. Just because, you know, it's 20, so it's keep. And, you know, it might not hit anything, but then when it does, it's going to cause quite a bit of dent. And it's got enough missiles to be able to get hit. Just make sure it survives long enough. Then we got the Fuchs. This is actually a pretty good vehicle. It actually has 105 km/h speed, which is pretty impressive, and a good operational range, so it can go quite far. It's front armored, so it could take a few hits possibly, but I wouldn't count on it. And the disadvantage is that it only has the MG3, which is a good close quarters weapon. So this is a very good rushing weapon. It's quite fast. Not quite fast, it's extremely fast. It's probably the fastest thing that you can get without a rotor in this game. And with the MG3's rate of fire, could definitely suppress stuff quite easily. So you've got the VAB. This is the sort of French version. It's got the Browning, so it's got a bit better range, but it's slower. But it has a better operational range. So in this, you're going for range, both operational and firing. But this one's faster. Then you've got the sort of tank destroyer version of the VAB with the Hot 1, similar to the one that you find in the Jaguar one. This is actually quite good. It's 40, so it's quite expensive, but it's very fast. Great operational range. This is probably what I'd use as a sort of flanking unit. You know, you drive this with a few of those ERC Saigon recon units. Drive it around the back of the enemy and fire some 80GMs up their ass. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good 80GM. It costs 40 though, so it might be a bit too expensive for that kind of risky maneuvering. And then finally the Weasel 1, it's got the autocannon, quite fast actually. So this is a good sort of helicopter hunter vehicle. And then 35, you get the Ito version. Actually no, it's the 1 tow, but it doesn't have the Ito. That's quite confusing, but basically it's the tow mounted on something quite fast. Yeah, I'd probably go for that as well, because the tow in itself is quite a good 80GM. You don't necessarily have to go to the Ito unless you're dealing with something really tough. So yeah, NATO is a good range of support vehicles, definitely a lot better than what Warsaw Pact has. Puts it at a tiny bit of advantage in this version of the game, but yeah, so let's go on to the helicopters. First off, the Cobra. This is quite a fun helicopter that I use a lot. So for the basic version, don't try and use it against tanks. It's got the Gatling gun, which makes it a good anti-helicopter. The 40 means it's fairly cheap, and the Gatling gun can easily take on Hounds. It's also got 2 sets of rocket pods, the Fraffer and the Hydra rockets. They're pretty much the same, except the Hydra is better in terms of accuracy, and it has a lot more rockets. But yeah, this is good for clearing up light units and suppressing tanks. It won't actually do that much damage to tanks. At 315, it's quite a fast helicopter. It can't fly that far without running out of fuel. Give it a bit of an upgrade. It ditches the regular rockets for the tow missile turns into a good attack helicopter, but you're paying 30 extra for that. Stabilizer, that's a decent stabilizer, so it's a more of an on the move helicopter, but again, the AGM probably can't be fired on the move, possibly, I'm not sure with helicopters. Disadvantage though is it loses that minigun to a Vulcan Gatling gun, which is a lot worse. It has some AP power, but overall, the Vulcan is isn't a good anti-helicopter weapon. Then upgrade to the Cobra. I'm guessing for the ITO missiles. Yep. That's it. So you pay an extra 30 for some ITO missiles. Then you've got the Apache. Now this is basically the almost as good as helicopters can get. You've got the amazing Hellfire missiles that are very accurate, do a lot of damage, and have as much range as you could ask for. Disadvantage though is they only have 8, whereas the Pact have 16 missiles. However, Hellfires are fire and forget. A debate. You've got the Hydra rockets, which are a good rocket pod, and you've got the autocannon, which is, I don't know, it's okay. I wouldn't really use it that much, but it can fend for itself against other helicopters, especially as it has the full 10 armor, unlike the Cobra, which only has 5. So the Cobra's delicate, the Apache's quite tough. Also, it's slightly faster, and it has better optics, although with helicopters you generally need recon if you're going to be fielding them. Then we've got this a German AGM helicopter. It's got those Hot 1 missiles, very nice, quite fast as well. And then if you upgrade, you get the Hot 2, which do a lot of damage actually. Look at 15. So pretty much this is a AGM platform. All it can do is fire AGMs, but it fires them quite well. This is probably the cheapest AGM you can get on a helicopter. Then you got the Chinook. It's a transport helicopter, obviously for infantry. I don't know. I wouldn't really use helicopters. Buy transport helicopters unless they have some kind of weapons on them as well. Dual function. But it's fairly fast, and it can go to pretty much any point on the map, and then again, and then back again several times. I wouldn't use this. Let's see, the Dornier 205, same kind of idea. It looks like a key, probably is a key German ripoff. 20, so it's quite cheap. So if there's a really high quality infantry unit that had, high veterancy and I wanted to save it, I'd probably use this for it. It's fairly fast. Can't go as far though as the Chinook. Right, so then we've got the Gazelle cannons. Now these are quite interesting helicopters because they're Gazelles. They're incredibly fast, so they can get to places as soon as you need them, basically. Now the thing is, these helicopters are, I think, the cheapest helicopter you can really get with some kind of weapon on it. However, it's a rubbish weapon. It's just an autocannon. Basically, this kind of helicopter is good for sort of spamming and taking out packed stuff that doesn't have any AA weapons whatsoever. Quite a few of them do. But overall, this can die quite easily. Upgrade them, you get the Hot 1 missiles. So basically, it's the same as sort of the East German stuff, but you're paying. Actually, you're paying less. Like you pay 10. You're paying 10 less, and it's significantly faster. And it's got a better range as well. I guess there's probably a disadvantage, like these are slightly weaker than these AGM helicopters, or maybe you can only field a few of them, I don't know. But the Gazelles probably walk all over these German helicopters. I guess you're paying a bit more for the ability to unlock the better AGMs, but I probably would just go for the Gazelles here as a good hit and run helicopter. Then we've got the Lynx transport helicopters, pretty much the same as the Dornier, but a bit faster, but you pay a bit more. And then you get another Lynx with some rocket pods. It's fast, and the rocket pods will do a bit of damage, but again, probably wouldn't use it. Then we've got the Lynx AGM tow helicopters. We got the tow, and I guess the ITO. Nope, the tow 2, which is pretty much the same as the ITO by the looks of it. Maybe it's a spelling mistake by Eugen, but maybe not. 75 and 60, quite expensive for ATKM helicopters. I'd probably go for the cheaper ones just because these guys can die quite easily. Although they do go with 350, so that's quite fast. So yeah, these are probably another counterpart to these helicopters. You pay more, but you get to go faster. Although again, the Gazelles seem to have a good advantage over them. I guess the advantage, that's what it is. Dedicated ATKM helicopter. These ATKM helicopters have more ammo than these ones. These only have 4 missiles in them, so they can't do as much. Alright, there you go. Then we got some anti-aircraft helicopters from America. They're not very fast by helicopter standards, and they've got a very good stabilizer, so they can fire while flying around quite easily. And they've got, all they have is the Stinger. Its range isn't that good. But then again, when you're dealing with helicopters, their range is awful. But if you look at, say, the Apache, its range is 1500. These guys, I know they wouldn't be firing an Apache that often, but the range is good for helicopter and helicopter combat. Accuracy is quite good, so these would be a good helicopter that you want to sort of deal with packed, but you can't send in your other helicopters because they might have Tunguskas or something. So it's it's a decent enough AA helicopter, but at 45 it's probably a bit too expensive for such a specialized unit. Then we got the Puma transport helicopters, and then another version of the Pumas that goes a bit faster for an extra 5. Again, I wouldn't probably use these. Although 25 for 325, it's a good sort of emergency recovery unit, I guess. Then we got some more gunships, the Hog. These are rocket pod only helicopters, so 25 for some basic rocket pods, and they're very slow for helicopters, like 175. Then you've got the Heavy Hog, which has a grenade launcher with a smiley face on it. Nice touch. For an extra 5. And then for another 5 on top of that, you get the Gatling minigun and some rocket pods. That's actually not a bad helicopter there, because it's got the Gatling gun for helicopter and helicopter combat, which is even more cost effective than the Cobra. That's actually quite a good deal, because there's only a 5-point difference in them, but the Cobras have the Hydras, I guess. That's what puts them apart. So yeah, I wouldn't use this gunship at all. And then the US transport helicopters, they've got the Huey, the faster Huey, and then the Black Hawk, which is very fast. 30 for 350 km/h helicopters, that's quite good. But overall, if you're looking for transport helicopters, you're spoiled for choice with NATO, but I'm generally not. Okay, I think that'll do it for this episode. Next episode, we'll be looking at NATO tanks and NATO infantry. Until then, goodbye.